Hello there, everybody. Always good to be back with you here on the channel. I am checking in with you on this Tuesday morning. I always tape in the morning, May the 5th. I just got wind of I was looking at some other things Spirit was leading me to read on for you all today, but this one really just caught my eye, and Spirit was like, "Yeah, let's take a look at this." Have you all heard about the so-called Kamikaze Dolphins that apparently were brought up today during the press conference that was held by Keg's Breath, as many of you call him, and Kane, so the Joint Chiefs of Staff head. So they were doing their spin on what's happening in the Strait of Hormuz. We see the escalation going to continue to escalate. Spirit has said, and we can see, we can read the signs and know what's going on. But the someone from the, I don't know if it was Fox, but this was right wing media, raised the question to Keg's Breath and Kane around the use by Iran of kamikaze dolphins that apparently are a thing that Russia has used in the past, where they've been able to somehow equip or use tracking devices through dolphins to attach explosives or other damaging devices to warships. So now it's being out there, it's being put out there that that is a part of the plan by Iran to deal with U.S. ships in the region who are blocking the Strait of Hormuz. Keeping in mind, what pinged me with my guides pinged me with is, remember, Abbas Arachi, pardon me if I'm not pronouncing his name correctly, but he went to Russia and met with Putin, and Spirit said that there were some agreements made for Russia's continued support of Iran. We know that in leading up to this, in the past they've already helped Iran around satellites, drones. While they were doing the airstrikes, they were very instrumental in helping Iran around that. And so did they agree to also help them with this kamikaze dolphins? Is that a thing? And has Iran entered some sort of arrangement with Putin or Russia, to get these Soviet trained dolphins in to combat warships, U.S. warships in the region? Let's see. At first, King of Pentacles, that I feel like that's Putin offering Pentacles, offering assistance. Is this a thing, Spirit? Is that part of Iran's strategy? Queen of Swords. Not sure who that is. Four of Swords. Okay, so, and the Empress. A lot of feminine energy coming up around this. Is this propaganda? Let's ask it. Let's go at it that way. Is this propaganda or is this a real thing? Three of Swords. All these swords coming up. Regrets. Page of Wands. I think this is propaganda, you all. Four of Wands. Okay, so it's a thing. The use of this, because I looked it up, and you all please do as well. Apparently, this is something that the Soviet Union, or not Soviet Union, but Russia has employed in the past to do that, to utilize these dolphins to put devices on enemy ships. This is now being talked about, but of course, recognizing the source, right-wing media, this is being talked about, but I think at this point, Iran has not actively justice. They are considering it. It was discussed. There are alternative sort of subversive techniques that Iran has discussed with Russia, with Putin specifically, to combat the naval presence of the U.S. in the region. But right now it's in the balance. That's what Justice is saying. And the High Priestess, exactly. They're trying not to go public, because I think what Spirit is pointing to here, you all, is not that these kamikaze dolphins are not a thing. Apparently they are. But that they don't want to tip their hand Iran. They don't want to tip their hand directly to what they are getting from Putin at this point, right? That's what that is. There's the relationship, but the high priestess is showing, that's sort of a mysterious, or what has not come to light, what they want to keep secret. They don't want to tip the US's hands in terms of what they really have available to them to combat the ships that are blocking the Strait of Hormuz. We have the Two of Cups. Yes, this is definitely a deal that Russia and Iran are involved in to get assistance. Russia lending their assistance to Iran. And the Moon, but again, another card of secrecy. So I think this is a thing. Bottom line, I think Spirit is saying this is a thing. Keg's Breath and Kane laughed it off. Like, oh, what does that mean? Oh, dolphins with laser beams? They said, no, this is a thing. And the world. And the Six of Wands. This is something that Iran wants to hold secret, because they still believe or hope that there can be other means to, I don't want to say upholding the ceasefire, but they're really trying to be strategic. And in terms of strategy, Spirit's been very clear, and we've seen, not even in a spiritual space, just practically, they have done an outstanding job. They've been running circles strategically around this administration and what happens. So that's part of what they're doing. But the Six of Wands is that whatever this is, whatever means they employ, whether it's these dolphins or other means that Russia is going to assist them with the world, it feels like it gives Iran more of a leg up and the emperor. It gives Iran more of a leg up to try and force Trump's hand to find some way to bring this to an end. However, Spirit, are we going to see naval forces in the U.S. depleted in this region, which forces their hand? The Queen of Wands and the Devil. And the Eight of Pentacles. And the Queen of Pentacles. So interesting how I'm getting all of this feminine energy. And the Two of Swords. Oof. And I'm really drawn to that image there, going after it. Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Wands, the Devil, the Eight of Pentacles. I think this is pointing to, remember we just had the Emperor a moment ago. I think this is pointing to advice that Trump is getting. I don't know who these women are, you all. I'm so sorry. This could even be, they're leading me to Europe. This could even be Maloney's coming to mind, because we know that this week Rubio's going to be over in Italy. This somehow is tied to Europe. And I think what we're getting is there's going to be feedback that Trump is getting and will continue to get around how to find a way to get up out of there. Because what's going to happen is, definitely with that Devil coming, this is ego driven, bound to, Trump is back to saying, we're just going to obliterate them, da da da. This is civilian. Thank you, Spirit. Sometimes I'm a little slow. All of this queen energy that's coming up, it is around civilians being harmed, because we know that queens in tarot very often relate to the more nurturing feminine aspect of humanity. When we're looking at a war situation, it would be how it is impacting the people. So the civilians. And I also saw, maybe many of you have as well, that we're already seeing that even though lots of media now are trying to cover this up, that there are civilians who have already been harmed, and more civilians that have been harmed in recent days and taken out in Tehran. So that's what this Devil is about. But the Eight of Pentacles is the push because as the civilian aspect of this, remember that after that Easter post, or that talk that Trump did around, go in and just obliterate everybody, and and civilian infrastructure, which meant civilian lives, not even going back to the hundred schoolgirls or whatever that were taken out at the beginning when all of this jumped off with the airstrikes, right? That's what this is. There's a As this continues, and the Hermit, thank you, Spirit, for confirming that. As this continues, it will impact more civilians. As news of that comes out, then there is increasing pressure on Trump at all to find a way to get out of there. And this is also, I feel, with those queens coming up, this is naval military. This is lives. This is, mounting casualties or wounding at the very least. That will be absolutely unacceptable. But full circle in this reading is these so-called dolphins, kamikaze dolphins, whatever mechanism Iran has learned or is learning and receiving some sort of mechanisms that they are trying not to make public. They don't want to tip their hand, that have come or are coming from Putin to assist them. So now it's gone from, Putin assisted them by air with the satellites, etc., and the drones when all of this started. Now he's assisting them by sea, is ultimately what I'm getting. This is so twisted. But when the civilian situation starts to mount again, and that's what we're seeing, it's just going to be intolerable, and you're going to see, going back to why I think I saw Maloney or European leaders, you're going to see more of that pressure start to counter. You've got to get out of there. You've got, this has to end. This has to end. And there may even be some sort of punitive, I just heard, and other readers have said this as well, that perhaps then you start to see sanctions against the U.S. or Trump in particular. This could even extend to, I'm hearing like banking or properties or whatever is in Europe, where they could then say, use that as leverage against Trump and this administration in the war effort. We're going to see more of that start to come to light. All right. Second thing real quick I want to look at today is really, really important, you all eyes on Indiana. Today we've got primaries in Indiana, and why that's really, really important is this is going to demonstrate the extent to which Trump is all that bluster around "I'll primary you out." Indiana, as many of you know, is one of the states that last year when Trump started this redistricting thing, and Indiana held out, even though it was a GOP Republican-led state legislature. They held out and said, nah, that's not constitutional. We're not going to do that. And so Trump went off the deep end, went and got all these candidates to challenge GOP incumbents in Indiana state legislature. Those primaries are today. There are 7 of them, 7 GOP incumbents who are up for re-election, who Trump has put primaried them and put his endorsed candidates in place to try and take them out. I want to take a look and see, are they going to hold? Not in favor of them, but it is very interesting that this is going to be a real test case for what happens when, especially in light of SCOTUS's Voting Rights Act, and now we see the continued redistricting and gerrymandering going on. This is going to be a really interesting call specifically to the GOP in terms of Trump's diminished power, because he's 7 races that he's put in to fight these incumbents who did not go his way in Indiana when he said he wanted the redistricted maps. Spirit, I'm not going to look at all 7, that'll take too long, but overall total, will those incumbents hold in the primaries? Those incumbents who refuse to cave in and do the redistricting, will they hold? We have the 7 of Wands. I like that. Stand your ground, courage, holding on. Will those incumbents in Indiana, or at least the majority of them, there are 7 races, will the majority of those incumbents who resisted Trump, GOP incumbents, state legislature, will they hold? 9 of Wands. It's a fight. Queen of Swords, Five of Swords, Three of Wands, and the Empress comes back. She's really busy right now. Ten of Wands. Is this the voters? And the King of Swords. Wait. Are you showing me in that King of Swords, because he's a Gemini front, are you showing me him overburdened, like he's maxed out? His people will not. Nine of Cups, exactly, the will of the people. Y'all, I think those incumbents, at least the majority of them, there are 7 races. I think the majority of those GOP incumbents who resisted him in Indiana around the redistricting maps, I think they're going to hold. Nine of Cups, that's the will of the people. And the King of Wands. And the Ten of Swords. And the Eight of Cups, walking away from what Front wanted to put in place. And this is going to cause, and I wonder too, the Eight of Cups, the Ten of Swords, and the King of Wands. I wonder if this feels like somebody within GOP leadership in DC. I don't know if this is. It doesn't feel like Thune. I'm not sure who this is, but somebody within Republican leadership in DC is going to freak out as a result of the hold. If these incumbents hold, because that's going to send the message. Guess what? You said you would primary us. So what? The people's will spoke. And that Nine of Cups feels like the people's will speak. That Ten of Swords and Eight of Cups is the retreat that whoever this King of Wands in Congress is going to, GOP, is going to go, old boy really is losing it. Trump, he really is losing it. His endorsement doesn't matter. It's not going to help us. I'm done. Death. There we go. That's a real strong indicator. Y'all, I think keep your eyes on it. By the time this airs this afternoon, the polls close in Indiana at 6. So we'll get the information overnight and into tomorrow. But what I'm seeing right now is I think those incumbents, at least the majority of them out of the 7, are going to hold according to the voters' will. And that's going to really set some things in motion panic-wise in DC, because then it's proof positive. He's lost power. He's lost control of the base. He's losing control of the base. And we're hearing it more and more, but again, seeing it show up at the polls by those voters. This is not one of these races in the primaries that we've seen around Democrats that are showing up and winning unexpectedly. This is their own, and the battle within their own, existing GOP incumbents against those who Trump has put in there to try and knock them out because they didn't do what he told them to. That is going to really set off a different level of dissension within the GOP party in Congress, where they're already panicked, and because they see what's coming in November. And this is also tilting into the Senate. I think whoever that King of Wands is somebody important in the Senate, and they gonna wake up tomorrow with a real hangover. Maybe from imbibing, maybe not, but a political hangover at the very least. All right, that's what I'm getting. Thank you all so much. Please don't forget, by the way, this Saturday, I have a workshop I'm doing, Protect Your Energy in Chaotic Times. Oh, I can't wait. I got some things lined up for that. I'd love to have you. Only $29 live via Zoom. I'll record it so you can hit the replay if you need it or if you can't attend it in person. But if you're interested, please check the description box. I'll put a link to it below, or you can just go to my website, trulytouchedbytarot.com. Hit the book online page. You'll see the class, and then click on the calendar May 9th, and you can sign up. I'd love to have you there. We're going to talk about some interesting things. Protect your energy in chaotic times. All right, chin up, y'all. Let's see what Indiana does. And this Kamikaze Dolphin thing. Yeah. Iran is running circles, and it's going to be really interesting, and they are definitely getting help from Putin, but they're being really, really cagey about it. It's very, very interesting to watch, And definitely prayers in the middle of all that. This is not just spectator, this is lives on the line. So definitely prayers for the civilians there and our service people. For sure, for sure. All right. Chin up, shoulders back, spine straight, right? Remembering to come from our hearts, sky above, always, and earth beneath, grounding us, holding us. All right. I'll talk to you a little later. Bye.